Saturday evening. In light of that information, I requested James Nice to resign, citing evidence of conduct unbecoming of an officer, including making derogatory statements about fellow officers, inappropriate contact with a city employee, and allegations of potential criminal misconduct relating to the ongoing criminal case involving his nephew. And out of respect for the employee, I will not be commenting on that further. Jim Nice tendered his resignation to me at 4:16 yesterday, and I immediately accepted that resignation. Any and all information regarding potential criminal misconduct will be turned over to the county prosecutor, who will determine what, if any, actions need to be taken. All of us who serve the public must be held and hold ourselves to the higher standards of ethics and integrity. And it's clear to me that in this instance, Jim Nice's conduct violated that standard, and he lost his ability to lead this department. There is not one person who works for this department or this city who I will let impugn the integrity and confidence of any city organization, and I will fiercely uphold that standard as long as I'm mayor of this city. What is clear to me, though, is that the men and women of the Akron Police Department acted appropriately, swiftly upon receiving information of misconduct. At every step of the way, investigators put what was right above everything else. I have complete and full faith and confidence in this department going forward. I have asked Major Ken Ball to serve as provisional chief of police. Chief Ball became a member of the Akron Police Department in 1991, was promoted to sergeant in 1997, lieutenant in 2000, captain in 2006, and major in the March of 2015. He graduated from the Police Executive Leadership College in 2001 and from the FBI National Academy in Quantico, Virginia in 2013. I want and I need our citizens to know that we are blessed to have an experienced and a man with the sincerity that Chief Ball brings to the position. He has my full support and, quite frankly, as important, my trust as this department works to ensure that our level to the community remains high, our level of service. In the coming weeks, I will work to name a permanent chief in accordance with the charter of the City of Akron. And with that, I'll invite Chief Ball to say a few words. Afterwards, we'll take a few questions. Chief?
Good afternoon. I am angry at the circumstances that have brought us here today. It's an embarrassment. It doesn't meet the standard of the Akron Police Department, and unfortunately, this organization and members of this team will suffer. And I hope that we can do as much as possible to stem that. But that circumstance are the result of one person's actions, not others within this department. I applaud the Akron Police Department members and Mayor Horgan. Swift action was taken, and appropriate action was taken in this troubling matter. For me personally, to have the mayor's confidence to effectively lead this department with integrity, that is humbling to me. It's an honor to be chief of this outstanding organization. I really wish that this moment would have come under dramatically different circumstances. The Akron Police Department prides itself on its values in serving our residents ethically and impartially. As the mayor stated, there is no evidence that any of these issues are systemic within this organization. If there were any information that pointed in that direction, it would be dealt with appropriately, swiftly, and thoroughly. I'm proud to step into the top leadership position. I have full confidence in our team. This group will not accept performance that would not meet the standards and expectation of law enforcement in 2017. At this time, I'll turn the microphone over to James Hardy.
Okay, so by way of taking questions, if you can raise your hand so we can keep some order, and I will call, and then we'll take them as they come. So, yes, in the back, right.
Does this have any connection to the forgery case against Joseph Knight?
I'm not sure of the particular charges, but it bore out of that the relation to, and that was with issue to the criminal misconduct or possible, and any and all of those will be forwarded to the Summit County Prosecutor's Office so they can take a look at and decide what, if any, charges are going to be brought.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So, and the this issue with the prosecutor is specifically related to his comments regarding his nephew.
I can't comment on the comments that he made about his nephew, but I can tell you, all of the things, as part of that investigation, we're referring back to the prosecutor so they can determine what, if any, if there's any relation to those two things.
What specifically did he do with his nephew's case? Was he trying to influence what happened with his case?
Well,
Was he making
what I'm
it
not going to do is
more-
comment on an investigation that's ongoing. It would be inappropriate at this time to be able to do that. But like I said, we will turn that over, and then they'll make a determination whether to go forward.
You talked about some inappropriate behavior. How far back does this go? Is this something that just happened, or are we talking years of?
I can't put a timeline on it specifically. I can tell you that I was made aware of it on Saturday evening, and Sunday afternoon I requested his resignation, and I received that at 4:16.
From your knowledge, but what you were told, how far?
I don't have a timeline as to how far that may or may not have went back. Not yet. I mean, that's also part of what's going to be looked at.
What evidence of any derogatory words were used do you guys have?
I can tell you, I was given compelling evidence of conduct unbecoming of an officer, and making derogatory remarks about fellow officers and personnel crosses a line, that's easily seen by the public, and I won't stand for it. And it was a pattern of a few things that had me request his resignation.
We heard there was an audio.
Hold on.
Sure.
So, Chief, you've worked with James Nice now within this building, I would think rather intimately at times. Have you ever been aware of any issues related to his character, anything like this? Has there been any reason to suspect this was imminent, or that something like this was?
No, it is, that's one of the things that is so troubling, because people will make that assertion or assumption, and the chief did not act like that in any way in front of the staff. There was no way for us to anticipate any of these things that would have occurred. Friday evening, some of the accusations were brought to our attention, and those were immediately taken to our supervisors to be dealt with. So no, it wouldn't have been tolerated. It's not a part of the culture of the Akron Police Department. It's an embarrassment to our profession, and there was not any evidence of that publicly or even within a closed doors or with his close circle of leaders. The chief had put together an exceptionally strong team of leaders within this organization, and it's one of the reasons that we are so well suited to take over in this particular situation and lead with integrity and repair damage that he's been done, and to continue to provide outstanding service to this community and do it in a way that we are all proud of and that you can be proud of. But there was not any evidence of that prior to this occasion.
We've heard there is possibly an audio tape of some of these disparaging remarks. Can you comment on the existence of such a tape?
I tell you the truth, I don't know of an audio tape, and I just don't want to comment on an investigation until we give it over to the prosecutor's office, and then they can make a determination from there.
Was there a threat to take this public if you hadn't dealt with it?
Well, I would hearken back to your question. If I haven't dealt with it, I found out about it Saturday evening, and Sunday afternoon he resigned. So not much of a quicker timetable than that. So it's less than probably 24 hours.
But the question, Mayor, I'm sorry, was, were you put in a position?
No.
Where,
And how was this brought to your attention? I know the press release says that officers acted appropriately. Was this fellow officers that brought it to the attention of other officers to look into?
The assertions were made casually to a member of this police department. And considering the gravity of that and how significant it was and how contradictory it was to our value system, that individual brought it to my attention. And that started the succession of events that led to notifications of our supervisors, the communications that we had with the mayor's office and with other city human resources and legal. And so it was through the birth of that casual conversation, but we acted on it immediately after that happened.
And can we get a time frame for the casual conversation?
That would have occurred Thursday or Friday evening.
One final question.
Can you talk about the inappropriate contact with the city employees, another police officer, and there's any allegation that he was doing anything inappropriate as far as advancing her career or paying for things that were inappropriate?
I think I mentioned in the statement that I wasn't going to make any further comment about that particular issue at this time, and not necessarily talk about names. But there's
Not
a
the
level
names, but
there's a level of conduct that the evidence that was presented to me made it well beyond acceptable norms of behavior to be able to have that go on in a leader in that department. So the decision was made, like I said, Saturday evening after the communications with Deputy Mayor Brown, meeting with me, and then Sunday afternoon requesting his resignation.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
If you want to stay, we're going to go ahead and address the issue from
Oh.
Friday night.